Aquaba, welcome back. Referent number 5 is mortgaged out. This is a unique observation as it speaks to the idea that in terms of time and talent, we give our best productivity and creativity to others. By the time we take care of family and association of obligations and find a moment or two for ourselves, there's no time left for freedom fighting. We're exhausted, mortgaged out. Economically speaking, we are mortgaged out because we buy too much and save too little. Debt has become the new slavery, and too many of us are living beyond our means, mortgaging our lives with credit cards and borrowing. I know no one likes to be told how to spend their money. This is where your level of consciousness will dictate and guide this important aspect of life. When we spend our money consciously, we will reject the idea of wholesale embracing of materialism. We love beautiful things. It's part of our culture. But it's truly time to reassess our priorities and redefine ourselves in less material terms. To be clear, we have significant group wealth, but we have not learned how to harness our collective economic power, becoming world-class consumers instead, and that benefits the status quo. Referent number 6, if you don't write the check, you can't write the agenda. This principle operates with virtually all of our human rights and self-help organizations that must depend on corporate, philanthropic, and governmental dollars to survive. It is the reason why our children learn precious little about global African history, even as we pay taxes and even private school tuitions. We do not write the agenda of the educational institutions, whether public or private. It is also why Mwalimu Dropping the Knowledge intentionally did not seek funding outside of my international community of people who know me, know my work, standards, and integrity. This program is a prime example of community building, funding a project I could not do as an individual. Referent number 8. We are seeking acceptance from outside of ourselves. It is past time for us to validate ourselves from within. The advantage of this position is the power to redefine success, manhood, womanhood, and community responsibility from our own historical and cultural center. Once we approve of ourselves, we won't look for someone else's approval. Of course, in order to achieve this position, we must cultivate opportunities to build unity from within. What does that look like? It means our thoughts, language, tone of voice, and actions must become more caring with and to each other. In particular, behaviors that destroy unity must be stopped immediately. I'm talking hurtful, teasing, gossiping, bullying, and even unforgiveness. This is particularly important as the subtext for this behavior is self-hatred, menticide, and isfet. It reinforced by stereotypes, God imagery, aesthetics, and the ongoing onslaught of negativity we consume in the media. On this next point, I want to combine referent 9 and referent 10. Take your consciousness and spirituality with you wherever you go and wherever you are. We must resurrect the widespread and consistent use of our cultural rituals. We have a circle of influence as members of families, friends, sacred and secular organizations, social clubs, and workplaces. To really shift reality, we must live our consciousness and our spirituality, infusing them as we move in the world with our thoughts and actions. In order to weave a reconnection to ourselves, healing is also necessary for the person in the mirror, as well as those whose lives we touch. In regard to rituals, shared cultural rituals must be practiced to allow us to transcend class differences, colorism, nationality, and other capricious dividers so we can understand our common destiny. Our imposed disconnection has put us in a position where we no longer see ourselves in each other. Consequently, petty jealousies, envy, disdain, and other self-destructive behavior patterns are the order of the day. It's now normal, and it's not normal to feel contempt for people who look like you. The day when we are kinder to one another will be the day a very real shift will begin. As an antidote, this is where the global practice of Kwanzaa can be very instrumental in reconnecting us as a global people with a shared history, culture, values, and destiny. Strongly related to this idea is referent number 11. Understand our connectedness to African people worldwide. Again, we are the only ethnic group who do not readily see ourselves as connected to each other globally. As I have said many times over the course of MDDK, we have embraced nationality that was imposed on our ancestors, and it does not serve us as a global people. Nationality continues to arbitrarily divide us in ways that benefit our oppressors. Nationality has become an identity marker that has erased our knowledge that we are a global people, a global African people, and it also reinforces Western values of competition. Worse, it continues to delay our unification and power to emerge on the world stage of policy making in our own behalf and benefit. Here, the words of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah are most instructive, and I quote, "All people of African descent, whether they live in North or South America, the Caribbean, or any part of the world, are Africans and belong to the African nation," end quote. In other words, we are one people, and our oneness is our connection to and with each other. So while the historical condition of enslavement and the degradation of the last 400 years worked diligently to sever our ties to each other, it is our responsibility and obligation to re-knit our ties to each other, especially if we intend for our children's children to thrive in the 21st century. As mentioned at the outset, I have shared a number of my historical observations entitled The Referents. In one recent MDDK episode, I discussed reparations at length. One other referent to consider is the impact of integration and what that has meant for our community. Some contemplation questions to consider include: how are the referents speaking to our community? How can we encourage change? What referent observation do we most need to implement, and how do we go about it? How do we use these observations to resurrect our people? Like my work in general, my prayer is that the referent observations continue to expand and evolve and provide illumination for the path ahead. That is certainly my sincere desire and passionate desire, dropping some knowledge for all of us to move forward with self-love, respect, dignity, knowledge, empowerment, and vision. Truly, we have our inside work to do for the next level of outside change. Or, poetically speaking, it is up to us. It is up to us to take our consciousness and knowledge with us wherever we go and wherever we are. It is up to us to live it, to heal ourselves with it, to infuse it in our ways of moving about the world. It is up to us to do the inside work for the next level of outside change. Let us begin with the person in the mirror. It's up to you to heal yourself of life's searing hurts, to release the anger and pain of unforgiveness, to decide against bitterness in living this life. Only then can you be a healing balm to those whose lives you touch. It is up to us to bring knowledge to our circle of influence, to prick consciousness, enlighten our families, friends, neighbors, and the various organizations we belong to. It will not happen otherwise. It will not happen without us. A luta continua. The struggle continues, but it is up to us to move forward. It is up to us to act accordingly. It is up to us. And in doing so, may we please our ancestors. Ashe. Hotep. I am Mwalimu Melody Masheri Van Putten, and I am dropping the knowledge.
Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. 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 Justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. Truth, justice, righteousness,